Hello.
Welcome back.
Episode 5. Anyway, episode 5. We didn't get any comments on our last video.
Yeah, you guys are all fake.
Boo! So we don't have anything to answer this week. Remember that if you do have any questions or comments, please leave them on our YouTube or Spotify. We'll make sure to answer them in next week's video.
S'il vous plaît. That's French for please.
This week, we are going to get into dun. Boredom. Yeah. So I'm like officially been unemployed for a month. And
I don't even want to say how long I've been unemployed.
I really feel like the boredom is starting to hit me, where I am just spending like day in and day out with myself, which in theory shouldn't be that shocking because I was working remote. Like my entire career I worked remote. So I'm used to being by myself like 9 to 5 in my house. But for some reason this is just different, and I think it might just be because I'm not even able to like converse with coworkers. But I also wasn't really the kind of person who just wanted to talk with, like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like, I was still really professional at work.
Right.
When I would, talk to coworkers and stuff.
I've got stories about that.
Yeah. And I think I was more of the kind of employee or coworker where I didn't really initiate much conversation, but if somebody came to me, I was always like willing to talk and listen and, converse with them and grow friendships. But I didn't really like initiate conversation.
Right. So my very first team at work was not quick to engage in conversation at all. And my first boss, Tim, he would not talk to me unless it was about work or the Real Housewives of Miami. So I was just like, all right, well, I got to be in an office with this guy at least one day a week. And we would just sit there in silence for like 6.5 hours. It was really awkward. Yeah. So I took it upon myself one weekend to watch an entire season or the current season of Real Housewives Miami so that I would have something to talk about with him. And even then he'd be like, oh, we really should be working. And I'm like, it's 5-10 minutes isn't going to hurt of us, trying to get to know each other. Like, I try to get to know him. I try to find some common ground, but yeah, he just wouldn't budge. Like, it was even to like the day because he got laid off before I did. Even then he was just like, oh, by the way, I got laid off. It was nice working with you. Bye.
I always think that's so weird about working in any kind of environment where, like, I've had jobs where the environment is very much so we all come here, we get our work done, we leave.
Right.
And we're not really friends. We're never going to see each other. We're not going to hang out. And then I've also had jobs where, like, everybody that I worked with was, like, friends with you. Like, we were all friends. Right. We were all very close. We talked about everything with each other. What we did the night before. We hung out outside of work. And a lot of the time, those friendships that I grew, it's not that I knew them before we worked together. It was that we worked together. And that's just how the environment, the culture was when I walked into that employer. It was, everybody here gets along very well. We're all friends. And, we're going to hang out outside of work. And you're welcome to come. Those situations where I felt like I really fit in with this group of people I worked with, and I felt this closeness that I could be a true human around them.
Right.
Were some of the best experiences I had in a workplace, and I think was during times where I was learning a lot about myself, and I was learning a lot about the job. a lot of the time, too, those, like, and now that I'm thinking about it, those are actually the jobs, too, where I had the most upward mobility at a company. The jobs where I was just expected to come in, do the job, leave, day in and day out, maybe converse for, like, 15 minutes, you know?
Right.
Those are jobs where I'm like, you don't know who you don't know who I am at all. You don't know really anything about my personal life. There's no upward mobility here because you don't really see me, I feel like, as a human.
Right.
You're not choosing to get to know me. I don't feel comfortable reflecting genuinely who I am to you. And that went for kind of everyone that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And now being unemployed, you know, you kind of get out of that realm of, like, having to put on sort of, like, a mask to people you work around. And it's very, like, refreshing, but also makes me sad that that's just the norm, because I don't think it's natural.
Right.
That's just me. I'm not saying you have to go to work and be friends with every single person you work with,
not.
But I don't think you should be expected to show up to a job, not talk to your boss, or only talk to your boss strictly about work, not really converse with your coworkers. Like, I worked one time in an office where, like, we weren't even, I worked in an office for, like, 3 months, barely, and our director didn't even really like us conversing with our neighbors.
What?
Like, yeah, and I'm like, well, isn't that the whole point of why you want us working in an office, to, like, collaborate?
Right.
No. She wanted us to, like, stick our nose down, do our jobs, work with our individual clients, and that was it. And, like, but that's not realistic. We're not robots.
Nope. Mm-mm. So, after my first boss, Tim, was laid off. Oh, cheers, by the way.
We're having, cheers.
Cheers. We're having liquid brunch right now. Iced coffee and mimosas. After my first boss, Tim, got laid off, all of his projects suddenly fell on to me. Well, they were on pause or on hold until, like, the company figured out what to do after these layoffs and how to, like, redistribute the workload. And all of his contacts were coming to me, asking me questions about the projects. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I have no idea what these projects, what they are, what they all entail, what work is going into them. And I'm like, and some people I had never talked to before in my career at that company up until that point. I'm like, who are you? And they're sending me emails asking for information. I just said, listen, all of our projects are on hold right now until further notice. I said, once they get picked back up or if they get canceled, we'll let you know, and the appropriate teams will reach out to you. And so a lot of it was stuff that I was supposed to be working on, and I was not working on.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, and then some people are like, I didn't even know Tim had somebody working under him. Mind you, I worked with this man for 2 years. And some people are like, are you new? I'm like, no, I've been working under Tim for 2 years. And they're like, no, he never mentioned you.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I feel like that just really set you up for no success.
No success whatsoever. And I had to, like, really rely on one of my coworkers, Tiffany, who was the same, like, position as he was, who didn't get laid off. And she was just, like, so shocked that I had no idea about any of these projects to do. So, long story short, after finding out all this information, I would go talk to Ingrid, the young lady who I lovingly refer to as IKEA. She was the one with her Swedish heritage or Norwegian or Icelandic, something like that, yeah. I went to go talk to her. I was just like, hey, you survived the layoffs too. You know what's going on. How are you feeling? And she was dry. She was just like, oh, you know, it's corporate life. Layoffs happen. I'm like, but aren't you, like, relieved? Are you nervous? You know, we don't know what's going forward. We don't know what teams are going to be placed on. And she's just like, it's whatever. Like, she was super calm. And I'm like, have you gone through this before? She goes, no. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, are you looking for another job? And she's like, well, I have it pretty good here, so I'm not. And then she's like, how are you doing without a manager? And I was just like, not great. This is what happened. I explained to her the situation. And she was just like, oh, okay. Like, no expression, no emotion. I'm like, trying to tell her, like, hey, you and I are in the same boat. We both are in the same position. You work in this department, I work in that department. Our department works together. Like, we're going to have to work together in the future. And she's just like, no personality, nothing. And I'm like, I'm not coming to, to be your friend or anything like that, but, like, we're coworkers. I'm just curious as to what's going on with you. Nothing. And then in terms of how she reacted to me telling her about my boss and how he was keeping work from me, I know that sounds weird. She was just like, well, managers are managers. That's what they're going to do. And, like, she just seemed very complicit.
Yeah.
In all of this. And, like, she just didn't care. And
it's hard.
I found that, like, was she just, like, in a state of denial or shock? I don't know.
See, okay. I haven't really had, I mean, like, I have, but not that direct. Be like, yeah, whatever. But I have worked in an environment where any kind of pushback, criticism, of what was going on outside of my control would lead to getting let go by the company. It was because I saw it happen to other coworkers who would bring true criticisms up to upper management, or even if it was like offering solutions to these problems that upper management isn't seeing, those people time and time again were let go. Laid off.
Yep.
And it really became clear that the attitude of the workplace that I was at was very much keep your head down, keep your thoughts and comments to yourself, meet these deliverables, and you'll be safe. It was all, I think, out of control.
Oh, yeah.
And could I call a coworker on my personal line, like my personal cell phone, and, complain? Yeah. But is that going to change anything within the company culture? Absolutely not.
No.
And there were a lot of times where I had to just hide my feelings a lot of the time. I had to let a lot of information go in one ear and out the other, and then after I, closed the laptop for the day, then I could deal with the emotions that I had around it. And that became really, really, really mentally draining.
Oh, yeah.
Really hard to deal with. I got to a point where I really wanted to quit. And I really felt like if I stayed at this employer, I was going to end up having to take a medical vacation, a grippy sock vacay, because it was taking such a toll on my mental health. My anxiety was the worst. It, at that time, was the worst it's ever been. I had many days where I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning because my anxiety for working that day was too much.
Okay, so that happened to me when I first got hired. Because I went from working in a retail setting to working remote and just sitting in front of a computer. And my first boss, Tim, I didn't get any real work until I think maybe 6 months in.
Was the first 6 months just training?
It was supposed to be training.
So walk me through what you did.
So
your first 6 months of work, you show up to the office or you're online.
I was online the first, I think, 2 months. And then the offices began to slowly reopen. Okay. And they were having this big, welcome back to the office. We're still going to do hybrid. You're still remote. The office is here whenever you want to come in, right? Okay. At that time. So our director, she was like, we'll come into the office once a month. We can have our team meetings, and then that's it. She's like, I'm not asking for anything crazy. But I remember I had a beater laptop. Sorry.
You're good.
I had a beater laptop. It was this crummy Windows HP EliteBook. HP, I don't care. That EliteBook is trash. Anyway. I had to have it plugged in at all times. The battery was shot. The logic board was shoddy too. And half the time I'd be like writing an email and it would just shut down on me. So
that would make me want to pull my hair out.
I did. It wasn't until like a year later that I got a MacBook. Yeah, it took them forever to order. They're like, well, we're going to wait till the next cycle to order a computer. Like, I think they order computers every, like, 3 to 5 years, depending on the longevity of it.
Oh, my God.
Which is, I mean, sad
That's
to say.
Just dumb, though.
It's really sad to say, though, in our current world that in 3 years, your computers are already technically considered, like, on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, computers just don't...
I mean, I have an iMac, and I bought when they re-released them in the colors, and I went to go buy an orange one. And I got the top of the line model because I'm like, that's what I always do when I buy computers. I try to get it like fully spec'd from the factory. And even now, like 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later, it's like, oh, it has a new processor, it has all this new power. I'm just like, what? So you're saying my computer's worthless now? I mean, it's not, but anyway.
Technology is moving.
It moves way too fast. Yeah, I'm like, we don't need a new model every year. We don't need a new processor every year.
We don't need a new iPhone every year.
Right. I mean, like, go back to doing the S models. Like, those were great. Like, a slightly refreshed version until, the next major model came out. I think that was, like, the move.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I would sit at home. I didn't know. I remember, because when I worked in the pharmacy, I'd get paid every 2 weeks. And, okay, so when I went from the pharmacy to corporate, all the same company, they just did it as an internal transfer. I wasn't put into the computer as a new hire.
Okay.
So that didn't trigger the computer to do any of the HR or new employee orientation. That explained all my benefits, that explained how to put money in my 401k, how to save, how to go into all those accounts and set everything up.
Oh, wow.
None of that was taught to me.
Yikes.
I didn't find out to maybe 2 years on the job that I truly had unlimited PTO because of all my time with the company.
What?
Yeah. I passed up a trip to go to Africa with my sister. They went to Kenya, her and her husband. And I was like, I don't know how much PTO I have. And I was gone for 2 weeks over Christmas break. They were going at the end of January. I didn't want to take all that time off. I had a new job. And I'm like, I don't know how the PTO works. I didn't know anything. And then when I was telling my boss, Tim, I'm like, oh yeah, I passed up a trip to go to Africa. He's just like, why didn't you go? I'm like, I didn't know how much PTO I had because in the computer it just shows up as 0.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm not really supposed to tell you this, but you have truly unlimited PTO. And I go, how is that possible? He goes, because of all your time with the company.
Why wouldn't they want to give you that information?
And he's like, you didn't know that? And I go, no. He's like, didn't they tell you that at orientation? I'm like, what orientation?
Oh my God.
He's like,
that's awful.
It is. He's like, you never did the HR new employee orientation? I go, no. And then he had to ask our director, his boss. She went into the computer and she's like, it was never triggered because he was just an internal transfer. He wasn't put in the computer as a new hire. And I'm like, well, can I do it now? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, no, we'll just walk you through all your benefits. Yeah. So
the more you talk about this experience you had with this employer, the more I'm just like,
oh, they're messy.
How unorganized. But so many large, well-known corporations are run just like this.
Oh yeah, it's a mess. And so that was my first month sitting at home in my bedroom, and then we would have a weekly one-on-one, me and my manager, and I was like, first of all, when we were in the office, the very first time we went to the office, everybody had a work phone. I didn't have one. And I asked my boss, I'm like, hey, do I get a work phone? He goes, no, I don't think so because you're an associate employee. In your title had the word associate.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't think you get one. And then one of the other girls who got hired maybe 3 weeks before I did, was like, oh no, you most definitely get a work phone.
Yeah.
And she's like, here, reach out to this person. So I get my work phone, and then I told my boss, I'm like, hey, I got my work phone. Do you want my work phone number? And he was just like, okay. So I gave it to him. He was like, okay, cool, great. And I'm just like, do we not contact each other? Do we not need each other's work phone number? if we're out at a conference, which we were several times, and, like, I need to get a hold of you, I'm not calling you over Teams.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening. I'm just going to call your work phone.
Yeah.
I do think I still have his personal phone number, but I don't use it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was supposed to get a work phone, and he told me no, but I did get one. I didn't know about my PTO. I didn't know about savings. I didn't know, like, how to do, like, all, like, the quote-unquote, like, back office things of, like, get my employee benefits, because I was never taught. Mm-hmm. There was websites and portals that were never shown to me, and it was crazy. That was, like, my first month, like, trying to figure out all that out. And then my boss would give me, like, he's like, hey, look over this digital catalog. Tell me if you see any errors or, like, any, like, not only spelling and grammar, but, like, formatting. Because a lot of what I did was, like, formatting catalogs and publication. Store designer, but here I am doing, like, InDesign documents and creating catalogs. That HP computer was so bad at rendering PDFs that it made certain letters bold when they weren't bold. And I'm here, like, making correction, like, this letter's bolded, that letter's bolded, this word is italicized, and they weren't. It was just the computer, like, messing up so bad.
Oh, God.
And, like, I speak Spanish, so I suggested translations, and my boss was like, do not translate anything. We have a whole department that does that. He goes, because if you translate it and it gets wrong, it comes back to you. So I did a lot of that, a lot of document review. Or he would tell me, like, hey, can you make an install, like, instruction sheet for this sign? And he's like, here's, like, the one I've made in the past. Just edit it to make it look like, or to match the current sign that we're shipping out. I was like, okay. So the first 6 months, I was just, like, a proofreader and document editor.
Oh, my God.
That's what I did. I sat in my room with anxiety because I was like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah. Had
no idea, and all I did was edit documents for the first 6 months. Oh, and then I didn't know we got paid once a month, and I had, like, bills coming up. I'm like, hey, when do we get paid? And he's like, oh, we get paid at the 26th of every month. He goes, but if it falls, like, on a Friday, you'll get it on the Thursday.
You only got paid once a month?
We got paid once a month, yeah.
That's so weird.
So, only for that company, only the store employees got paid bi-weekly. And then once you were, like, store manager and above, anything above that, it was once a month. It was a salaried position.
Did they say, was there a reason?
And that's just how that company's always done it. Even when I worked in the pharmacy, the pharmacist only got paid once a month, too.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Like, anyone who's salaried gets paid once a month.
Huh.
I didn't mind it.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
I guess, I don't know. I like getting paid, bi-weekly.
I mean, I got used to it. Yeah, I did like getting paid bi-weekly, but I did get used to getting paid once a month. Yeah. It really did help me budget, and I use that loosely.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, like, the fall of my first year there that I actually started, like, working on projects by myself, talking to vendors, talking to clients, and, just working on my own. And even then, it was just, like, my boss would he would be like, oh, here, this is what you need to do, taking a run with it. And he would only chime in if, like, I was doing something wrong or if he felt that I could do something more efficiently. Very
I don't like that. It's really telling, I think, just how many people have, like, leadership roles who probably shouldn't be there anymore. Or, like, I don't know. I think we can all relate to somebody who was in a leadership role who take out the different types of leaders, like, leader you could be, like, the actual, qualifications to be a leader. They just, I don't think their personality is made to be managing other people.
Right.
There's a lot of, I think, responsibility that, like, unspoken responsibility that comes with being a manager. I've had some really, really great, fantastic managers. Mm-hmm. I go, that's a perfect example of somebody who's a great manager. But when I look back at all these people, it is just a reminder to me that to be a great manager, at the core of it, you have to be a really good human.
Oh yeah.
You have to expect that the people on your team are striving for the best, looking at you for guidance, and you have to be that role model. And you're kind of the eyes and ears of the people below you for a lot of the work that's like if you're working like an associate position, right, and you have a manager. I think like a really good tool that they tell you, like that I've been told, is like, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And when you're starting out at a job, or maybe you have the experience, but you've only been there for like less than a year, you're still learning like the ranks and how all the different departments operate and yada, 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 company culture. I think a good manager is a person who knows what, like, can catch those things before they come and bite you in the butt.
Yep.
That is truly the job of a manager, is to guide you through your career, so that you can be a successful employee. And therefore, like, their team will then succeed in general, assuming that the people on the team are executing. But it's the manager's job to understand what can my like employees do that will go above and beyond for upper management, that they're never going to talk to. Like, that's how it was. I don't know how it was for you, but for me in corporate America, it was always like, you start out at like an entry-level position, you have a manager, and then that manager has managers and managers and managers, a whole ladder of people above them who, me as an associate, I'm never going to meet.
Right.
I'm never going to talk to. They may pop in on a meeting here or there, but for the most part, we're not really going to interact. They're not going to know who I am. They're probably not even going to know what I do on a daily basis.
Right.
My manager's job is to communicate and advocate for us to these people, and also communicate information that's coming from them to provide to us, and kind of be that liaison between an associate and, like, executive upper management. But I've also had managers who don't do that. Yeah. And a lot of the time, those are the teams that fail. Those are the teams where you see high levels of turnover. Employees quitting, employees getting laid off or fired for very minimal reasons, that it's like, you aren't hired because you were incompetent.
Right.
Nobody is hired because the person hiring them thinks they're incompetent. Most people who have had work experience genuinely just want to work and do a good job and, provide for themselves and maybe a family. And I think there's a big disconnect between that and upper management at these corporations, where layoffs are really, like, when you're talking about companies where layoffs are really common, firing is very common, and it seems so natural that you make one mistake and you're let go.
So that's how my second boss, Madison, was. Like, you make one little mistake, or you don't agree with her, or she felt personally attacked, she just made your life hell.
Yeah.
She never managed anybody in her career, and so now, after the layoffs, this restructuring, now she has a team of 6 people.
Yeah.
And she's trying to figure it out. And one, she was a horrible manager. She's a horrible person. And then 2, it was very Mean Girls environment. She was pitting everybody against each other. So, and she was in everybody's business.
Yeah.
She wanted to know everything about you. She wanted to talk to you. And, like, I didn't know her, so I'm like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, right off the bat, like, us getting introduced to one another. And I will say that my first boss, Tim, did kind of warn me about her, because one time she came up to me in the office to ask me a question, and she was just like, can you approve this paint color and put it in the standards catalog? I go, no, because it hasn't been approved yet. And, like, she gave me a dirty ass look, like, to my face. Well, I sat there next to Tim, And she goes, but I'm telling you to do it. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're... And, like, I was just being honest with her. I'm like, I'm sorry, Maddie, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your position is. I don't know who you report to. I said, but until I get, like, from your leadership or from the marketing team that these colors are approved, I'm not putting them in our standards catalog.
Yeah.
Just so that they can say, no, it's not approved, then I had to go back in there and take them out. And so that's when Tim was like, you just told Madison no. I was like, okay, and? He's like, she probably hates you now. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not risking my job just because she's not getting her way.
Was she formerly... What did she do formerly before she was promoted to being your manager?
She was on the concept... She was a store designer.
Okay.
Or store design manager. That's, like, the next step above. It's, like, associate, and then just, like, the standard title, and then, like, manager.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to have anybody under you, but,
yeah.
like, they give you that title to say, like, you're advanced.
Like, you're, like, a senior position.
Correct,
okay.
Yeah. That's what she did. She never had anybody work under her, and she was on the concept team, so she worked closely with the marketing team to come up with the look and feel of the brand and of the stores. To my knowledge, she, aside from helping create, like, this, like, little vanity thing that was already, like, an existing design from one of our vendors, she's kind of, like, altered it a little bit to fit our stores. She doesn't have any work to she has no work in the stores that she can point out and say that she did that.
Wow. And
I found out from one of our vendors that about 11 years ago at this point, she ordered, like, almost $100,000 worth of product and signage for, like, a prototype store or a number of prototype stores, and none of that signage that she ordered was approved. She just went ahead and ordered it, and these orders were in shipment to those stores, and she called the vendors like, oh, cancel the shipment, we don't need them anymore. And our vendor was pissed off.
Yeah.
And so when I was speaking with this vendor, he's just about another project that she... essentially, that was the project that she was trying to get me to fail so that she can say, like, oh, it's your performance and that's why I'm firing you. Which, it didn't work. It backfired on her. That's a different story for another day. That's when he told me the story. He goes, I've worked with her for the last 10 years. No one can stand her. I had another vendor tell me, we all have her emails blocked. Like, none of her emails come through because we blocked her.
And these are, like, the clients that you're supposed to be working with.
These are my clients, and they're like, who's your boss? I'm like, Madison. And they're like, oh, we're sorry.
So it's just a telltale sign that just the people who really... I don't understand it sometimes. I really don't.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And, like...
how these people get moved up when there's, a lot of the time, way better options.
I will say that because there was 2 Tiffany's that I worked with. One of the Tiffany's was Madison's boss, and the other Tiffany was my coworker.
Okay.
And the Tiffany that was my coworker ran circles around Madison.
Huh.
Like, was just overall better employee, got along with everybody. She trusted, us to do our work. Her and I rarely had any issues or hiccups, and they promoted Madison and not Tiffany, when Tiffany should have been promoted.
See, at that point, I just go, it's all political. It's all about who you know, who you're buddy with, and it kind of honestly makes me sick to my stomach a lot of the time, because those choices have way larger impacts than I think people realize.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to boredom. We can talk about boredom. So, I've been unemployed now for a month, and I'm keeping myself busy.
Good.
As one must do. This podcast keeps me busy. I have my Depop online business that is keeping me very busy a lot of the time. I mean, that is really like a full-time job for me.
Oh, right.
But a lot of it is like I can do it literally from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I can also do it whenever I want. Like, I can work on it at night.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy the flexibility of it, which has left the days, I don't know if it's just this past week or what it is, but the boredom is like really setting in for me, and I really struggle with boredom. I really like being busy. I like keeping, like, I need like an outside force to keep me just in a constant flowing motion. Like, that's where I'm most happiest. I want to like always be doing something and keeping myself going. And I also I can set a schedule for myself and follow through on it, but I feel like sometimes I kind of need an outside push to get me to like do more, if that makes sense. Kind of like just to kind of keep, like, push me harder.
Yeah.
You know? I don't have that, you know, so right now I am in control of my own self and my life and my schedule. And I'm just at a point where I'm like, I feel like I've exhausted all the options available on Netflix. I feel like I've exhausted all the movies. I think last week went to the movies for the first time by myself. Because, like, the movie theater near me does $5 Tuesdays. I was like, you know what? I just want to go see a movie right now. And I've never gone to a movie theater by myself. But I was like, today's a great day to start. Actually, it was really fun. But that's where I'm like, can I spend day in and day out doing fun things while being alone? Yeah. Do I want to? No. I like having people around me. I like being social, and I don't know, I think unemployment just leaves room for a lot of cabin fever.
Yeah, I get that. I agree with you to a point where, I like a good creative challenge. I like to be challenged intellectually. Those are the kind of pushes that I like.
Okay.
Pushes to get me out of the house, not so much. I'm very much a homebody. I like being surrounded by things that make me comfortable. I like things that are familiar. I had this conversation recently with my sister, and she's just like, we need to get you out of the house. And I like try to tell her as much as I could, like, hey, I appreciate it that you want to go do things with me, or you want to go here, you want to go there. And I said, but sometimes I just want to be alone at home.
Yeah.
There are times where I don't want to have to be on. I don't want to have to be, like, in a social setting. Like, even if it's just my sister and my brother-in-law, that still, for me, like, can be socially draining.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, I have to get ready. I have to get in the car. I have to drive here. We have to go do said thing. And we got to drive back. And, like, I don't mind that once in a while. It's not bad. Yeah, I love going out to eat. I like a nice restaurant. I love a good cocktail. But I'm not the type of person that has to be doing something every single day, let alone every single weekend. There's some days I just want, leave me alone with my washing machine. Let me zone out while I'm folding towels or something. Like, I need that type of mental rest. And when I get that, then it's like when all my ideas come to me of like, all right, that's what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
That's how I like reserve my energy, and then I go and do the things that I want to do because I thought about them, I planned them out, I have a strategy in my head, and that's how I'm going to do it, you know? Like, there have been many times where I'm like, I love cooking. So one of my responsibilities at home is to make dinner. You know, I cook Monday through Thursday. I'm off on the weekends. And that was kind of saved me from boredom, was going to the grocery store, making a schedule. Okay, I go Mondays, I get kind of like necessities, and then Wednesdays, is like my big shop. I get everything that I need for the rest of the week. And that's going to last me till next Monday or Tuesday. I menu plan, and nothing brings me more like satisfaction or gratification than perfectly executing a dinner. Like, even if it's just, like, for me and my parents, going to the store, getting the ingredients, having, like, all right, it's 2 o'clock, I want to be done by 4 o'clock the latest, having the kitchen semi-cleaned up, you know, as much as like one can while cooking, and then serve it, eat it, pack it all up, put it in a Tupperware container, throw it in the fridge. And, like, those types of meals that I get it done right, or I get it done, like, it was like clockwork, that's what saved me from boredom.
See, that's such, like, a good idea. Because, I don't know. Well, it's also different. I live alone.
Okay. Yes, you do. Well, you don't. Well, you live alone, but you do have 2 fur babies.
I do have two fur babies, but they don't eat people food. So most days I'm just cooking for myself, and I lose there's like, I don't know. I think I'm losing the lack of creativity when it comes to recipes and finding a meal and all of that. But I'm trying. Somebody else mentioned this to me during the week, you know, about getting back into cooking and baking, and just as something to do that, one, will make other people feel appreciated. You know, I'm very close with my neighbor, share food with her a lot. You know, I have my family close by that I can always bring stuff to. You know, my boyfriend also doesn't live too far away, so, you know, I can always bring stuff for him. So there's definitely things that I want to start including in my daily routine like that. I think it's just, like, the starting of it is, like, what's hard for me. I'm like, I don't have to go grocery shopping and, like, figure out what I'm going to make, and, like, what if I don't want it? Like, sometimes that happens to me. I'll make a meal, and then I'll just, like, not want to eat it anymore.
So, that, I don't know what but, because, like, you're over it. Like, you did all the prep work, you did the cooking, you did the cleanup, and, like, by the time you sit down to eat it, you're like, I don't want this.
Yes.
Okay, I totally understand that. There's a clip of somewhere floating around the internet of Giada De Laurentiis calling that cooking foreplay. She was being very cheeky on this late night talk show, and because someone's like, how do you stay so thin if you're cooking Italian food, and Italian food has a lot of carbs, and, you know, it's heavy sometimes. And she says that while she's cooking, you're taking bites because you're trying the food as you're cooking to make sure the flavor's there. And she says she's like, I'm sampling it, I'm eating it, I get the enjoyment of cooking it, and by the time it's done, she's like, I really don't want to eat it. She's like, I did all that work. She's like, I know it's good because I tasted it as I was cooking. And she goes, I'll have a little portion, and then she's like, but I get more satisfaction knowing that the people who are going to eat it are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I need to that's a really good idea. I think that's what I need to focus my energy into. Because I think that's true. Like, I am a taster as I'm cooking as well. So, one, I think sometimes I just get halfway full by cooking. And then, 2, when the meal is done, I'm like, I already know what this is going to taste like.
Yep. The only time I'm not like that is if I'm baking, like pastries, cakes, things like that, because, yeah, you can taste the batter, it tastes good, but you don't know how it's going to taste once it comes out of the oven.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to come out right after baking, so, like, I feel like baking it's a little bit different. But with, like, savory cooking, it's like you're tasting as you're going, and then you're like, all right, I know it's good, do I want this anymore?
Yeah.
For me, I am a big YouTube person, love watching YouTube, and when I'm stuck in a rut, I will I will look up on YouTube recipes or something that I'm feeling, or it's like a cuisine I've never cooked before, like, how is it made? I want to learn about it. I want to see all the different ingredients, and that's what helps me not get bored or, like, get burnt out of, like, the same recipes over and over again.
Yeah.
And the challenge of, you know, I've never made that before. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Let me see. And then for me, it's a learning process. Because, all right, first thing is I challenge myself to make a new recipe. Second part is it going to come out good? And then at the end, it's like what they use in corporate, lessons learned. What do we learn from cooking it? Are we going to try something different, a different pan, a different cooking method? a different ingredient, a different brand of ingredient. Like, it's a lot of reflection too. And like, I love that. I like taking something, doing it, and then figuring out, all right, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
And that helps with boredom. And that helps with boredom with like anything.
Yeah. I think I need to do that. Like, I almost want to get a whiteboard for my refrigerator and write on there during the week meals that I'm going to make, like dinners. And that way, at least I'll, like, hold myself accountable like, okay. And also to organize my shopping list a little more, too. Like, if I plan it out kind of for the week, what am I going to get? You know, and then I can go from there. Because I do want to do that. I also, like, I am not the best baker, I feel like. But I get so much satisfaction when, like, something I did bake turns out good. Like, at Easter, I made this, like, strawberry, it's like almost kind of like a giant 2-layer strawberry shortcake.
Oh, wow.
But it was vegan and gluten-free. And it was one of the best things I've ever eaten. And that cake was, like, gone. I made, like a pan of it for Easter. And by the time the night came, that cake was, like, there was, like, maybe a fourth of it left. And then I think my boyfriend ate it all the next day. Like... Oh, wow. Well, we, like, both did. But it was so good. And I'm like, okay, that felt so good to do. I do like hosting. I like having people over. I like cooking for other people. As long as they're open. That's, like, my only thing. Because, like, if you want me to cook for you, but you're gonna, like, complain about vegan food, then, like, we're not gonna... You don't need... Then I just find that to be disrespectful. And I'm like, okay. Then, like, we're not... You don't need to come over. And,
even if you're not vegan, going to somebody's house and being like, oh, I don't eat that, or that's gross, like, that's disrespectful.
Yeah,
vegan
right?
or not, yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, like, that kind of reminds me. So I've been, not to be like whatever, but we talked about this, I think I, like, had mentioned this on a podcast back, but I've been vegan for 10 years. I've been vegetarian for, like, 11. I was never really, like, a big meat eater kind of person. And so my parents are older. So, like, the concept of veganism is, you know, somewhat new to them in their adulthood. Like, you know, I think I'm kind of the first person they've ever known to, like, truly be vegan. And they recently, and I mean, like, a few months ago, just found out that the reason why I am vegan is because of, you know, it really, mainly comes down to the fact that I just don't, I don't personally believe in, like, eating animals for myself. And I don't want to contribute to the meat industry, fishing, like, large fishing industry, et cetera, okay? And my parents, for the last 10 years, have genuinely thought that I was vegan because I just didn't like the taste of meat and dairy. Like, okay. They were so serious. And I was like, huh. Yeah, no, that's not really why. So we had a great conversation about it, and now they understand. But, like, isn't that kind of wild?
It is, yeah. Not knowing the reason why.
But they were just like, well, you've never really liked meat. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, I think there was more to that than just I didn't like meat as a kid. Like, I kind of, like, if genuinely speaking, for me, I kind of feel like, one, I really didn't like the taste of, like, pork and beef. When it came to, like, chicken and stuff, like, I would eat it, but I wasn't, like, the biggest fan of it. And as I got older, I think I just kind of came to realize that this, like, moral responsibility that I feel within myself towards animals was probably always there. Like, I feel like it was always there from the time I was a kid.
Right.
But I just, I didn't have, like, the tools at the time to be able to express that I felt that way until I was older. And then I was, like, 18 and I could make my own choices and do whatever I want. I was away from my parents and I was like, I'm gonna it was really, like, the first step I took at kind of, like, living a life truly for me. Right. And without other people really influencing or having any, like, influence over the choices I was going to make as, an adult living my own life.
I have a question for you, since you've been vegan for a decade now.
Yeah.
Honey.
Oh, honey's okay. I let that one slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vegans don't come for me, but yeah.
Because
listen, I'm probably going to get some heat, but...
Hot honey.
I love hot honey. I love honey. Bugs I'm fine with killing.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to save the bugs. I don't really care about them.
We do need bees, though.
We do need bees. I will say, I'm not over here, like, slurping down honey.
Right.
I think I have a bottle that I've had for, like, 5 years.
During the winter, my parents have, like, a spoonful of honey, like, every day. It's because it's, like, a natural antiseptic. So, like, it's supposed to, like, help keep bacteria out of your throat.
I didn't know that.
To prevent illness, yeah. And, like, honey doesn't go bad.
Yeah, no.
Ever, which is crazy to me.
I know, right? Like, even when it crystallizes, I think all you have to do is, like, put it in, like, warm water.
Warm water for, like, a few minutes.
Yeah, like, put the bottle in, like, warm water, and it'll...
And if it's glass, you can stick it in the microwave for a couple seconds, and it'll be back to normal. Yeah, honey is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm okay with honey.
Okay, cool.
And all the dyes.
So,
I, like, really love Red 40. Don't come for me.
Love it. Love the effects of it giving me that hyperactivity. What was I gonna say? I was at the store and I was like, you know what? I need to have something in my my freezer pantry or just my pantry in case you visit again. I can have a vegan option.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I was looking at black bean burgers and it said vegetarian on it, but let me read the ingredients and there was egg whites in it.
Yeah,
like,
some of them are like that. Yeah, you really have to check. Don't know why, but they are. I do like an Impossible Burger from here, time to time.
I haven't seen it in the United States yet, but there's a drag queen YouTube couple from the UK that I love. Shout out Novimpia. And one of them, Nova, she's a vegetarian, but, like, borderline vegan.
Okay.
Like, she'll have, like, she'll have, like, dairy and things like that, but she won't do, like, gelatin or fish. Anyway.
Yeah.
She has, like, there's, like, it's almost like Impossible, but tuna. But it's not the Impossible brand. It's another brand.
I think I know what you're talking about. They used to, I think, have it at Whole Foods. I don't know if they still do, but I did buy it. It was, I think, actually jackfruit.
I forgot what it was.
But...
Those quote-unquote birria tacos we had last week were jackfruit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were very good.
Yeah.
They were... The mushroom, quote-unquote, carne asada. Mm-hmm. I'm not the biggest mushroom person, but they were very, very well seasoned to the point where I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it takes a lot for me to like a mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
I like truffles, though. I don't have any issue with those.
I'm not the biggest truffle person. Like, I'll have it, but I'm not seeking it out.
Right. People either love them or hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you do need to try, though?
I'm listening.
Okay. Trader Joe's has... I love Trader Joe's.
Same.
Trader Joe's has this guava, like, jelly spread.
Oh.
Do you like guava?
I do, yeah.
Okay. We had Pog.
Yeah. I hope you liked it, because I was just
No, it was really good.
Okay.
I love guava. I love passion fruit. Like, when it comes to fruits, I'm not a big citrus person.
Okay.
Like, not big, like, apple, pears. I love tropical fruits.
I do, too.
I love guavas, mangoes, star fruit, like, all of them, except pineapple. But, like, dragon fruit, passion fruit, like, I love, like, tropical fruits.
I will agree. I love all the tropical fruit. I have this recipe from Nigella. Hi, Nigella. For, like, a white chocolate passion fruit mousse. Ooh. And even, like, I'm not a white chocolate person because I'm just like, creamy. What is this? What am I eating? But it acts more like a sweetener in this recipe than it does, like, as chocolate. And passion fruits, at least in our area in the United States, are very expensive. Like, they're nearly $5 for, like, one.
Yeah.
And I love passion fruits because the uglier they get, the tastier they are. Yeah. Which is, I'm like, that's me. Yeah. The crustier I am, the better I'm going to be.
Before I was vegan, I ate a lot of, like, yogurt growing up. We always had yogurt. My mom eats a ton of yogurt. Like,
I used to.
Yeah. My sister can't because she can't have dairy. That was really, like, the only dairy we had, though, was, like, yogurt. Because everything else was... I mean, yeah, we would sometimes have milk, but my parents really didn't cook with dairy.
Right.
Because of my sister. But we would have yogurt. And I still, like... vegan, dairy-free yogurt brands, please hear me out. Because I've really asking for this, okay? There used to be this brand of Greek yogurt that had passion fruit flavored Greek yogurt, where, like, the passion fruit puree would be at the bottom, and then you'd mix it, and it was, like, just phenomenal.
Vivian.
Okay, anyway, the yogurt was, like, truly, like, when you think of a Greek yogurt, like, really thick, very sour. And then, like, I love sour stuff, too. Same. I think that was part of it. It was, like, this, like, thick, sour yogurt with, like, the passion fruit puree mixed. It was, like, delicious, and I dream of it a lot. So, dairy-free yogurt brands, please make one. Please.
Yeah.
I want someone to make, like, a really good dairy-free Greek yogurt that's not so vanilla forward.
I feel like a lot of vanilla is... I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of yogurt is vanilla forward.
Yeah.
And, like, I want to shout out Trader Joe's for having plain, whole-fat Greek yogurt in a single-serve cup. Because there's a lot of recipes that I cook where you use yogurt as, like, a marinade, and it only calls for, like, a cup. And I'm like, I'm not trying to buy that big...
right?
Like, 10-cup jug to sit in my refrigerator for one recipe. And Trader Joe's is the only store / brand that I know that sells it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other yogurt companies, like, get on board with that. I need just, like, a single serving of plain.
And I want my yogurt thick.
Oh yeah. Have you heard about the yogurt pressing?
No, what's that?
So it's almost like a tofu press, but you put a bunch of yogurt in it and with, like, cheesecloths.
Yeah. It's okay.
Cheesecloth. And it presses your yogurt. It squeezes all the moisture out of it. And it's almost like the consistency of cream cheese.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that will work with, like, the dairy-free yogurt, but I have seen it where it's like if you want your yogurt to be thick, you put it in there, and this thing pushes out.
Do you do it cold or hot?
Cold.
Okay.
You do it cold, and it goes in the fridge, and you, like, give it 24 hours, and it's like, it just squeezes all the moisture.
I feel like I could kind of maybe even do it, like, myself.
Talk about cream cheese. Okay, real quick.
Are we back to cream cheese?
We're going to go back to
cream cheese versus sour cream.
Did we talk about this last week?
The debacle. Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Did I talk about Tillamook cream cheese being too tangy? Okay,
yes.
All right. I won't talk about it again. It's still... I opened up my refrigerator this morning and I saw it there and I got pissed off. Okay. We'll move on. But, yeah, another thing that got me through boredom, aside from cooking, is, as you know, laundry. We talked about laundry. Yeah. And then, I'm getting into Instagram Reels. And, like... I feel like
making them?
Yeah, like making Reels or quote-unquote TikToks, short-form, vertical videos.
Yeah.
I feel like I go through these phases where I, like, make a couple in, like, 1 week, and then I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. But then I go back and do it a few weeks later.
Yeah. See, I feel like I enjoy the finished product, but making it, I'm like, my body dysmorphia cannot handle viewing myself on a screen.
Same.
Like,
I was talking to a friend.
And I think it's just one of those things where, like, that's one of those thoughts that I have to remind myself, like, nobody else is looking at me and thinking these things.
Right.
If they are, girl, I don't care. Like, I don't want you around me. But, like, in the moment, I have to tell myself, like, just send it out, because me in the future is going to look back and not give a single fuck.
Oh, right.
About what I look like in this video.
I see photos of myself from, like, age 10 to, like, 16, where I really went through a rough period of, like, body dysmorphia and body image issues. And when I see pictures of myself at that time, I'm like, oh, I didn't really look that bad to begin with. But then, like, when I see pictures of that era, like, all those feelings come flooding back. So it's, like, tough to see that. But we'll save that for another episode. It's not the body dysmorphia episode, it's the boredom episode.
It's the boredom. Body
boredom.
dysmorphia will be the next episode.
Right. Do you have insecurities? Do you hate your bodies?
Yeah.
So
do us. So do we.
So do we. Let us know down below. What do you hate about yourself?
Comment down below.
Comment down below. I will tell you the list of things I like about myself.
We're getting all fat and sassy.
Well, working from home, I gained like 35 pounds.
Yeah, I did too. I go through periods though
Girl,
where
you look the same from when I met you.
No.
I think you do.
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
Yeah, I
vice versa.
Oh, thanks. I got fatter and my feet got flatter, so there's that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I go through periods in my life where, like...
Yeah, you are a girl.
I'm a girl.
You go through periods.
It's so confusing sometimes to be a girl.
Okay. There's that the remix with Lorde where she goes, "You walk like a bitch." When I was 10, someone said that, and I'm like, "Girl, same."
That song is so relatable.
Oh, it's great.
I love it. When she's like, people say we're alike. We have so much in common. We have the same hair. But when we go out to eat, I feel like we have nothing to talk about. I'm like, girl, we all been there.
We all been there.
Yeah.
Did you see? Okay, I know it's tangent, but like, Charlie XCX posted a picture with Olivia Rodrigo, who I adore. But then Tove Lo posted a picture with Charlie XCX, and then Troye Sivan posted a picture of Tove Lo with Charlie XCX. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm trying to connect the dots. I'm like that lady in like the Confused gif where she has like all the math problems floating above her head. And I'm like, what is going on?
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Right. And House of Gucci.
Literally.
Yeah. And I'm like, all my alt pop icons are hanging out together.
I think, speaking of that, I think one of the first conversations, like one of the first things I think we connected over was Tove Lo.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, yeah, we did.
Because you were like saying something, I was like, I love Tove Lo. And then you talked about, I think you and your sister were like going to her concert or something. I can't remember.
Yes, coming that year. So we went to Paris in January, and then the next month in February we saw Tove Lo at the House of Blues. Yeah. Yeah,
and I think you had been talking about it, and I was like, oh my god, I love Tove Lo. And then like we just played it, and then our spring break trip, I just remember it was like literally, because you brought your speaker, you were in charge of the music primarily, and it was like literally the best. It was like Britney, Tove Lo, Selena Gomez.
Before the transplant medication, Selena Gomez. Okay?
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Do you remember when we were in Paris? Dana, hi Dana, often reminds me of the story, but it was the last night before we left.
Okay.
And we were in the lobby, like, common area. Okay, so we had a Vivi break. Anyway, back to the story. We were in the lobby the night before we were leaving Paris, and, like, they were coming to pick us up at, like, 4:30 in the morning?
I don't even remember.
It was early. And we were singing that song, I got ass cheeks on my white tee. All these hoes keep running.
Why do I feel like we stayed up the entire night?
We went to bed for, like, 2 hours. I think we took a nap.
Well, because I remember we, like, all packed, that evening, packed all of our stuff.
Yes.
And I remember packing, like, my suitcase with Teresa and, like, getting everything ready to check out, and then I don't remember anything after that.
We went to the lobby, we were hanging out, and I, like you said, I was playing Britney Spears, and I gotta say Tuvelo, how you pronounce it in Swedish. And the guy who was working the front desk, like the overnight graveyard shift, called to my room and was like, oh, could you come downstairs and like share your playlist with me? And I was just like, I didn't have a playlist going. I was just playing like random music I had on my phone. I'm like, he's like, oh, yeah, well, can you come downstairs and show me? I was like, no, I have a flight to catch in like 3 hours. I'm not coming downstairs.
I don't remember that. I mean, I remember being downstairs and like playing music, and I think we like maybe we're drinking some wine. I can't remember if we were drinking. Was that the cork
wine that Emma Gibbons had, and like the cork just like disintegrated and fell into the wine?
Possibly.
I think it was that night. I don't remember. But yeah.
One of the nights our dinner was literally wine and bread.
Iconic.
And grapes, maybe?
Some meats and cheeses.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't even think we got cheese. I think it literally was we just got bread, grapes, and wine.
We were having charcuterie boards before they went viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had like a creepy like front desk attendant call my room the night before we left.
That's funny.
Question.
Oh, okay, yes. Ask ahead. Your question.
My question is... Vivi has a question too, apparently.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
What was your favorite after-school snack?
Ooh, that is such a good question. What was my favorite after-school snack?
Like, you came home.
Yeah.
Put on the cartoons,
okay.
like Nickelodeon, Fairly Odd Parents at 2:30. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite snack?
Okay. This is really embarrassing. Again, I didn't really learn how to cook until I was
Well, it doesn't have to
older.
be like a cooked snack. But
No, I mean, like, I don't think I learned how to use the microwave until I was, like, 15.
Damn.
I didn't even, like, touch a stove until I was, like, 17, and that was to make SpaghettiOs.
I was allowed.
So I'm gonna leave it up. I did learn how to use the oven.
Okay.
So I have two things that I have in mind.
Okay.
First one is SpaghettiOs.
Solid.
I love tomato soup. So I would come home and I would make a can of SpaghettiOs and eat that. The other thing was I used to make these, I called them tortilla pizzas.
Okay.
So I would take, it literally sounds like what you think it is. You take a tortilla, I would put like marinara sauce on there. I would put cheese, and then sometimes if we had like pepperonis or something, I'd throw a few of those on there. Put it in the oven or the microwave. A lot of the time I did the microwave. Melt it, eat it. Sometimes I did a quesadilla in the microwave.
You just reminded me of something.
I ate a lot of struggle meals, okay? I'm like microwave nachos. Like,
some of those are the best. Okay, yeah. You just reminded me, you said you made a tortilla pizza in the microwave.
Yeah.
In the 4th grade, this girl, hi Courtney, she did, we had to do like step-by-step like how-to like essay.
Yeah.
And it had to be about food.
Okay.
And hers was how to make a grilled cheese. And she did everything right. Like, putting butter on both sides of the bread, picking out your cheese, putting it in between the bread. And then she's like, and then you're going to put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. And so...
What?
And like, there was time for, our teacher left us like time for like Q&A.
Yeah.
And I raised my hand. I'm like, if you're not using a grill, can you call it a grilled cheese? Wouldn't that be more of like a microwaved cheese?
Yeah.
And I got in trouble.
Really?
They're like, Dominic, that's very rude. Ooh. That's impolite. I'm just like, well, okay. But I'm just trying to figure out the facts. Like, girl, you put bread and cheese in the microwave. That's a microwave cheese. That's not a grilled cheese.
Yeah, no.
I was allowed to start using the stove in the 1st grade.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think I was afraid of it, and I didn't have any interest in it, and I also didn't have to. Like, I think that was a big part of it, too, is, like, I just didn't have to. I as I've kind of talked about on here before, like, I have a person I consider to be, like, a brother, but we're not, like, blood related, but we lived, like, almost next door to each other. So when we were like, from the time I can remember through, adulthood, our homes were always just kind of, like, open to both of us. Mm-hmm. And his grandma lived with him. So I would just, a lot of the time, go over there. She would pick, like, his grandma is the one who would pick me up from school, like, a lot of time. Or, like, in elementary school, we would walk to school. We'd go back, like, we would go to his house. His grandma would be there. She'd usually make us a snack or get us, like, pizza or something. And then when I went to high school, I spent a lot of time, at my friend's house. And same thing, like, she was Filipino. So her Lola would make us food every day after school. Like, we would come home and it would be, like, a whole meal, basically, for us. And, like, I did that, like, every day.
Okay. I'm going to start calling you Cameron Diaz now.
Why?
So there's this video. Okay, let me find it real quick. I don't think I had, like, a favorite, like, after-school snack. It depended on what was in the fridge. A lot of times, it was, like, if my mom, the rare occasion, bought us, like, Totino's pizza rolls, I would stick them in the toaster oven. We had a lot of corn tortillas, so they would make what we would call a burrito. Not a burrito, burrito, like, what was it? Burrito? No, burro, excuse me. Okay. Because a burrito is a burrito. It was a burro, and it was basically like an old school Mexican pacifier for babies. What? They would take a corn tortilla, warm it up, put a little water on it, roll it really tight, like almost like a cigar, and then give it to the kid, and the kid would just like chew on it, and it'll like either help with teasing, it would pacify them. So my grandma taught us how to make them, and so I would do it with lime juice and salt, and then roll it up. Yeah, so that was like something. But you said you were hanging out with your friend who had Filipino and Cameron Diaz.
I haven't been to the Philippines, but I grew up with a lot of Filipinos. My best friend that I grew up next door to was her mother was from the Philippines. The Philippines, yeah. And lumpia, adobo. I ate it every single day.
That's a me.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I ate pancit like almost every day.
Yeah. I had a friend, hi Cassie, her mom was Filipino, and she would bring, once in a while, Filipino food to school. It was great. Yeah. And her mom really did make really good brownies, and so we'd always, that joke after High School Musical 2 came out, have you seen High School Musical 2? Yeah. Where she's like, her mom makes really great brownies, and Zac Efron's like, I know, I've had them. So that was our joke with her. But yeah, once Ina Garten, the Barefoot Contessa, started airing, her show came out in 2002. That was when I would run home, because she would always have an hour block, 2 episodes back to back from 3 to 4, and that's what I would watch on TV. And that's what started my
Next week, our episode can be about Ina Garten
and how I met her.
We can talk all about cooking and food. Maybe that's what we should do. I'll assign myself homework.
Okay.
I am going to make maybe I'll make a new recipe this week, and I'll report back.
So I'm going to test my baking skills. I have some cherries that I bought a couple weeks ago. I pitted them. They almost were about to go bad. I pitted them and I froze them. Okay. And I bought some apples, and I have a lot of blueberries in my fridge right now. And Mariano's, local grocery store chain, used to do a red, white, and blue pie in the summer. Yeah. And it was the red being the cherries, the white being the apple, and the blue being blueberries. Okay. Delicious pie. Yeah. They have not brought it back in like years. I think it was like pre-pandemic. So I have all the ingredients. I have pie crust in my freezer that I made. So I'm going to try this weekend to make my own version of it without a recipe. Because fruit pie scares me because they give off a lot of liquid. When they're baking, and if you don't put enough flour or cornstarch in it, you'll just have like a soupy pie, and nobody wants that.
No, nobody does.
No. So if you like soupy pie, leave us a comment.
Comment soupy pie below.
If you made it this far, we have our homework. I'm gonna make a pie. You're gonna try another receipy. Yes. And then we'll report back.
Yes. Sounds good. All right. Good. Remember to subscribe, like,
share with your friends.
Yeah, follow.
Share with people you don't like either.
Yeah,
they might
send it to your enemies.
Yeah, they might like.
Send this to your former employer.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No context. Just
send it out.
I think more people need to start doing that.
I think so too. Let's start holding corporate accountable.
Let's start holding corporate accountable. Yeah. I think that's going to be the name of this episode.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Just remember, I'm Dominic.
I'm Dana. And this is the Unemployed Diaries.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.